Have you noticed your body doing things differently now that you're 80 or approaching it, and you're wondering if these changes are normal or signs of something seriously wrong? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through 5 biological changes that happen to virtually every person once they reach 80 years old, backed by solid medical research from institutions like Harvard and Johns Hopkins. These aren't problems you can prevent or avoid. They're natural shifts that your body goes through, whether you like it or not. But here's what matters. I'll show you exactly how to adapt successfully to each change instead of suffering unnecessarily or ending up in the hospital because you didn't understand what was happening. And I'll reveal the one change that doctors say causes the most preventable injuries in people over 80. Yet almost nobody prepares for it until after they've already been hurt. This information could literally save your life or save you from a devastating fall that steals your independence forever. Frank celebrated his 80th birthday feeling healthy, active, and completely independent. Within just 6 months, he noticed he couldn't shake off a simple cold as quickly as before. His balance felt slightly different when he turned his head, and he started waking up 3 or 4 times every single night. Frank genuinely thought something was medically wrong with him and worried he was developing serious health problems. His doctor sat him down and explained that every single change Frank noticed was a normal biological shift that happens to everyone at this age, not a disease or disorder. Understanding this transformed Frank's anxiety into practical action, and simple adjustments helped him adapt successfully to his changing body. Change 1. Your balance and equilibrium deteriorate rapidly. Have you noticed that you feel unsteady on your feet more often lately, even when you're not feeling dizzy or sick? This isn't your imagination, and it's not weakness or laziness. It's a real biological change happening inside your inner ear right now. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that after you reach age 80, the vestibular system in your inner ear, which is responsible for controlling your balance and spatial orientation, loses approximately 40% of its sensory cells. These cells don't regenerate or come back. Once they're gone, your body has to work much harder to keep you balanced and upright. This explains why activities that felt completely natural at 70, like turning your head quickly, walking on slightly uneven ground, or standing up from a sitting position, now require more concentration and feel less automatic. Your brain is doing its best to compensate for this sensory loss, but it's fighting an uphill battle against biology. Beatrice, an 82-year-old from Wisconsin, felt perfectly healthy and strong. She noticed she swayed slightly when turning her head to look behind her and felt uncertain when walking across her gravel driveway, even though she'd walked that same path thousands of times before, without thinking about it. The consequences of ignoring this balance deterioration are genuinely serious and happen faster than most people realize. Without proper adaptation and support, this natural loss of equilibrium leads directly to falls, and falls after age 80 frequently cause hip fractures. Medical statistics show that hip fractures have approximately a 30% mortality rate within 1 year for seniors over 80, not because the fracture itself is fatal, but because the immobility and complications that follow often trigger a cascade of health problems. A broken hip can mean pneumonia from lying in bed, blood clots from reduced movement, and a permanent loss of the independence you fought so hard to maintain. Here's exactly what you need to do starting immediately. Begin using a cane or walking stick for stability, even if you don't think you absolutely need it yet. Pride isn't worth a broken hip. A cane provides that third point of contact with the ground that your vestibular system can no longer guarantee. It's not admitting defeat. It's intelligent adaptation to biological reality. Additionally, practice simple balance exercises every single day to maintain whatever equilibrium function you still have. Stand near your kitchen counter where you can grab it if needed, and practice standing on one foot for 10 seconds, then switch to the other foot. Do this 3 times on each side, morning and evening. This exercise strengthens the neural pathways your brain uses to maintain balance and helps slow the deterioration process. Wear supportive shoes with non-slip soles, even inside your house, and remove throw rugs that can catch your feet. Don't wait for a fall to force you to use support. Start protecting your balance today before you learn this lesson the hard way. Change. 2. Your sleep architecture completely transforms. Do you wake up 3, 4, or even 5 times every single night and find yourself lying there frustrated, wondering why you can't sleep through the night like you used to when you were younger? Here's something almost nobody tells you. This isn't insomnia, and there's nothing medically wrong with you. According to sleep researchers at Harvard Medical School, people over 80 experience a fundamental biological restructuring of their sleep cycles that's completely normal and happens to virtually everyone. Your brain naturally spends about 50% less time in deep sleep stages compared to when you were in your 60s or 70s. Additionally, the circadian rhythm that controls when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert shifts earlier, making you tired earlier in the evening and awake earlier in the morning. Most significantly, waking an average of 4 to 6 times per night becomes the new normal for your age group. These aren't disruptions to your sleep. This is actually how sleep works after 80. Leonard, an 81-year-old from Oregon, felt exhausted and depressed because he thought his frequent nighttime awakenings meant he had developed insomnia or some serious underlying medical problem that was destroying his health. He spent hours lying awake, worrying about why he couldn't sleep anymore, which only made everything worse. The real problem wasn't his sleep. It was his expectations about what sleep should look like at 80. The consequences of fighting these natural sleep changes are more damaging than the changes themselves. When you lie awake feeling anxious and frustrated about waking up, you flood your body with stress hormones that actually prevent you from falling back asleep. This anxiety about sleep can spiral into genuine insomnia, depression, and cognitive decline. You're essentially creating a sleep problem by refusing to accept that your sleep architecture has naturally changed. The frustration and worry do far more harm than the wake-ups themselves. Here's how to adapt successfully starting tonight. First, and most importantly, accept that waking during the night is completely normal at your age and doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. Stop fighting it or feeling upset when it happens. Keep a dim nightlight on in your bedroom and bathroom so you can see safely if you need to get up, but don't turn on bright overhead lights that will fully wake your brain. Never look at clocks when you wake during the night. Knowing the time only triggers anxiety about how many hours of sleep you're losing. Instead, practice simple breathing exercises to ease yourself back to sleep. Breathe in slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, breathe out for 4 counts, and repeat this cycle until you drift off again. Keep the room cool and comfortable, and consider going to bed 30 minutes earlier than you used to, since your total sleep time may be slightly less than it was at 70. Stop fighting your natural sleep patterns starting tonight. Acceptance and adaptation bring much better rest than anxiety and resistance ever will. Change. 3. Your social circle shrinks dramatically through natural attrition. Have you noticed that your circle of friends and regular social contacts has gotten significantly smaller over the past few years, and you feel more isolated and alone than you've ever felt in your entire life? This isn't because you've done something wrong or because people don't care about you anymore. Studies from Johns Hopkins University reveal a sobering reality. By age 80, the average person has lost approximately 60% of their lifelong social connections due to death, serious illness, cognitive decline, relocation to assisted living, or simply being unable to participate in activities anymore. If you graduated high school with a class of 100 people, statistically fewer than 10 of them are still alive and healthy enough to socialize. If you had 20 close friends at age 60, you might have 8 or fewer by 80. This mathematical reality hits everyone, regardless of how popular or social they were when younger. Gladys, an 83-year-old from Virginia, attended 4 funerals in a single year. Her weekly card game group that had met for 15 years completely dissolved because members died, moved away, or developed dementia and couldn't participate anymore. Within 2 years, Gladys found herself with almost no regular social interaction beyond occasional family visits. The health consequences of this social isolation after age 80 are genuinely dangerous and well documented in medical research. Social isolation increases your risk of depression by approximately 40%, significantly accelerates cognitive decline and memory loss, raises your blood pressure, weakens your immune system, and even increases your mortality risk as much as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. Your brain needs social stimulation to stay healthy just as much as your body needs physical activity. Without regular human connection, your mental health deteriorates, your physical health follows, and your risk of dying prematurely increases dramatically. Here's what you must do starting this week to protect yourself. Actively and intentionally build new social connections right now through senior centers, faith communities, hobby groups, volunteer organizations, or community classes. Don't wait for connections to come to you. You must go find them, because everyone else your age is experiencing the same social shrinkage. Schedule regular phone calls or video calls with family members and make these calls non-negotiable appointments you keep like doctor visits. Join online communities specifically designed for seniors, where you can interact with people who share your interests and experiences. Consider adopting a pet if you're physically able to care for one. Pets provide daily companionship and routine. Look into senior day programs where you can spend a few hours several times a week with other people. Sign up for meal programs at senior centers where eating becomes a social activity instead of eating alone. The key is intentional action. Passive waiting for social connection will leave you dangerously isolated. Don't wait until loneliness becomes severe depression. Start building new connections this week while you still have the energy and motivation to do so. Change. 4. Your body's recovery time multiplies exponentially. Does it feel like every minor illness, small injury, or medical procedure now takes weeks or even months to recover from, instead of the few days it used to take when you were younger? You're not being weak or overly sensitive. This is biological reality after 80. Research from the Mayo Clinic demonstrates that after age 80, your body's cellular repair mechanisms, immune response, and healing processes slow down by 60 to 70% compared to your functioning at age 60. What this means practically is that a simple cold that once took 3 or 4 days to clear now takes 2 full weeks. A minor surgical procedure that required 2 weeks of recovery at age 65 now requires 2 months. A sprained ankle that healed in 10 days at 70 now takes 6 weeks. Your cells simply don't divide and repair as quickly, your immune system doesn't fight infections as aggressively, and your body prioritizes conserving energy over rapid healing. Clayton, an 84-year-old from Tennessee, caught what he described as a mild respiratory infection that would have barely slowed him down 10 years earlier. This time, the infection kept him weak, fatigued, and coughing for nearly a full month, which genuinely shocked and frightened him because he couldn't understand why his body wasn't bouncing back like it always had before. The dangerous consequence of underestimating your recovery time is that you push yourself too hard, too soon, which causes serious complications. When you try to return to normal activities before your body has fully healed, you risk relapse, secondary infections, falls from weakness, and permanent loss of function. Many seniors end up back in the hospital within 30 days of discharge, specifically because they overestimated their recovery speed and overexerted themselves. What should have been a full recovery instead becomes a downward spiral of complications that robs you of abilities you'll never get back. Here's how to protect yourself starting with your very next illness or injury. Plan for triple the recovery time you think you'll need based on your past experiences. If you think something will take 1 week, plan for 3 weeks. If you think 2 weeks, plan for 6 weeks. This isn't pessimism, it's realistic planning based on your current biological capabilities. Accept help from family, friends, and professionals during recovery instead of insisting on doing everything yourself. Hire someone to clean your house. Accept rides to appointments. Let people bring you groceries, and don't feel guilty about needing assistance. Build intentional rest periods into every single day, even when you feel completely fine and healthy. Your body needs more recovery time between activities now, not just recovery from illness. Take a 30-minute rest after lunch every day, even if you don't feel tired. Space out appointments and activities so you're not rushing from one thing to another without breaks. Listen to your body's signals about fatigue and weakness instead of pushing through them. Adjust your expectations about recovery, starting with your next illness. Patience and realistic planning protect your long-term health and independence more than stubborn determination ever will. Change 5. Your appetite decreases and taste perception changes significantly. Have you noticed that food just doesn't taste as good as it used to, and you're simply not hungry anymore, even though you're not sick or depressed? This change catches most people completely by surprise because nobody warns you it's coming. According to nutritional research from the National Institutes of Health, people over 80 lose approximately 30% of their taste buds through natural aging. Your tongue literally has fewer taste receptors than it did at 70, making everything taste blander and less appealing. Simultaneously, hormonal changes suppress the signals your brain receives about hunger, so you genuinely don't feel hungry even when your body actually needs food. These combined changes lead to unintentional weight loss and malnutrition in roughly 25% of all seniors over 80, and many people don't realize it's happening until they've lost significant weight and muscle mass. Velma, an 82-year-old from Arizona, found herself skipping lunch regularly because nothing sounded good and she just wasn't hungry. Within 4 months, she'd lost 15 pounds without even trying, which might sound positive until you understand what she actually lost: muscle mass, bone density, and strength. The weight loss weakened her dramatically and made her vulnerable to falls and illness. The consequences of unrecognized malnutrition after age 80 are genuinely serious and happen faster than most people realize. Inadequate nutrition accelerates muscle loss, which reduces your strength and increases fall risk significantly. It weakens your immune system, making you more susceptible to infections that take even longer to recover from given your already slowed healing processes. Poor nutrition slows wound healing, increases your risk of pressure sores, causes dangerous vitamin and mineral deficiencies, and dramatically increases your risk of hospitalization. Many seniors end up in the hospital not because of a specific disease, but simply because they've become too malnourished and weak to function safely at home. Here's exactly what you need to do starting today to protect yourself from malnutrition. Switch from eating 3 large meals daily to eating 6 smaller meals spread throughout the day. Smaller portions are less overwhelming when you're not feeling hungry, and eating more frequently ensures you're getting adequate nutrition even if each meal is modest. Add healthy flavor enhancers like herbs, spices, lemon juice, and garlic to make food taste more appealing despite your reduced taste bud function. Don't be afraid to make food more flavorful. Bland food that you won't eat doesn't help you. Set alarms on your phone to remind you to eat at regular intervals even when you don't feel hungry, because you can't rely on hunger signals anymore. Your body needs fuel, whether your brain registers hunger or not. Track your weight every single week on the same day, at the same time, wearing similar clothing. If you lose more than 5 pounds in a month without intending to, call your doctor immediately. Keep easy to eat, nutritious snacks, visible and accessible. Nuts, cheese, yogurt, fruit, protein shakes, so you can grab something nutritious even when you don't feel like preparing a meal. Consider nutritional supplement drinks between meals to ensure adequate calorie and protein intake. Start monitoring your nutrition this week before unnoticed weight loss weakens you to the point where you can't recover. Reaching 80 brings 5 real, measurable biological changes that happen whether you like them or not. Deteriorating balance, transformed sleep patterns, shrinking social circles, multiplied recovery times, and decreased appetite with changed taste perception. But understanding these changes means you can adapt successfully instead of suffering unnecessarily or ending up in the hospital because nobody warned you this was normal. These shifts aren't catastrophic failures. They're natural biological processes that every human being experiences if they live long enough. Thousands of healthy, independent seniors over 80 thrive by accepting these changes and adjusting their daily habits accordingly, and you can absolutely do the same thing, starting right now. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 changes you've already noticed in your own life and how you're handling it so far. If this information helped you understand what's happening to your body and gave you practical ways to adapt, give this video a thumbs up so more seniors can discover these important insights that doctors often forget to explain clearly. Subscribe for more honest, practical health information specifically designed for people over 80. And please share this video with friends your age who might be experiencing these same changes without understanding why they're happening or what to do about them.